got to see maybe much from my end when it comes to the toes on the wall, but basically, when you find the wall, you want your heel in front of the wall and you want your toes up against the wall, and you're going to be so close to the wall, you're going to feel like you're going to face plant it, right? So if you just put your toes up on the wall and then bring your body close, you're going to feel a calf stretch. Now, the toes kind of need to press into the wall a bit. If you don't like doing that and your toes are a little bit stiff, simply take the one back and press the heel back into the floor, and just make sure the feet are pointing straight ahead. But just for something different, you can try that. So there's a wall and we come close in, and just to do it, totally up to you if you want to do that. Yeah, just have a bit of a play. I'm going to stick with the traditional version because my socks keep slipping on that wall. Maybe I should not have socks on. Maybe I'll do that too. All right. Okay, if you're just joining, just starting with the calf stretch here. Either version is to have the back foot long, the back heel pressing down as you lunge the knee forward, or you can have your toes on the wall and be up and just lean into the wall there a little bit. Just play with that a little bit as well. Okay, swap sides if you haven't already. Let's do the other side. Okay, square off your hips. And even though we're lunging the knee forward on this version, always feel like you're pressing that back heel back down in resistance there as well. Just breathe it out. I like to gently give it some, then back it off, and then go back into it as well. Just breathe. And just go about another 10 more seconds there for me. My aim tonight is from bottom to the top, targeting everything. So you're guaranteed to find spots that do need it and that do need to balance out the body as well. Okay, slowly come out of that and then take one hand to the wall and start low if you have shoulder issues. So my hand is in line with my shoulder, but you can have it sit a little higher if you are able to. Have the hand open on the wall, and then you're simply going to turn away from the wall in the opposite direction. For some people, that can be very nervy and neural-like. So if you don't like the nerves or the feeling of the nerves, don't press your hand on the wall. Just have your fingers on the wall lightly and turn away. Okay. But it's good to have nerve stretching. Okay, you want to encourage that if you can tolerate it. For those that have got, healthier shoulders, go up higher. Test what that feels like as you twist away from the wall. And we'll just go another 10 seconds here. Breathe in and out. And this is great for undoing those rounded shoulders. All right, let's change sides. Starting low to be safe. Don't go too high. And twist away from the wall. Feel a big difference on this side. Breathe it out. Good. And you can sort of come off and on, you can twist back it forward, take the pressure off, bring it back on again. Okay. And then I'm going to start adding some height to mine. I'm just going to go up a little bit higher there. Focus on the breath. And softening on the breath out where you feel a little restricted, a little bit tight. And I'm just going to go up just a tad more higher, and we'll give it another 10 seconds here. And we'll stick by the wall. I want to get back into your calves, but a different part of the calves. And this part is often what restricts us from squatting down low. I'm going to actually show you, you can envision my wall in front of you. The feet are not wide back. We don't have the wide stance, it's smaller. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And visualize I'm holding onto the wall. This back knee is like it's dropping down. At the same time, the front knee goes forward. Okay. And then come out of it. And then down. Okay. And back. So I'm going to bring it to the wall here. All right. And so it's like I'm trying to reach both knees, not only to the wall, but also to the ground in front of me. And it's targeting the soleus muscle. Now, if you're not quite feeling a stretch, close the gap between the feet, or bring yourself or bring both feet closer to the wall that you're holding on to. Okay. And again, you can just come in and out of that. Just play. And it targets more the outer parts of the calves behind. All right. And change sides. Do the other foot. All right. Find what works for you with the distance between your feet. But don't lift the heel off the floor, and gently bring it in and out. Okay. So I'm trying to stay a little more upright as the knee drops down and back. And we'll go about another 10 seconds here as well. Wonderful. All right, slowly ease out of that. Well done. Can you bring one arm up? And with the opposite hand, grab that. And then pull yourself across to the side stretch. If you can't take your arms over your head, what you can do instead is keep your arms down, bring your feet a little closer together, and reach for the feet. Okay, so that's another way you can do the side stretch. Maybe you can do one arm over the head and not the other. Okay, so you can go between the both. Now, if you've got your arm over the head, just give it a little bit longer. Don't change yet. I feel like you're pushing your rib cage out away from the side of the body. And I'm really pulling with the other hand underneath. And then spring it up, change sides, reach up a little first to the ceiling before you then take the arm across. And I don't know anyone who doesn't feel a stretch through here, through the sides. Breathe it out, push those ribs out. Wonderful. A few more seconds here, and then we'll come out of here and we're going to get into the good old dowager's hump. You'll stay standing, but I'm going to come close to you. And if you think about the upper bumpy bit we get at the top of the back of the neck and the spine, let's take our arms out to a T. You'll still stay standing. Maybe your stance is wider for support. Press those arms back and then look up. Okay. And as you're doing that, that little lumpy bit in the middle here should retract and bring itself back in from being lumpy. Press the hands back. It's more about the arms. Hold it just for a few more seconds there. Good. And slowly ease out of that. Now we're going to do a nerve flossing stretch. Bring your arms straight ahead. Flick your hands out. Okay, so come a little closer. You stay standing. The hands are facing away. From here, continue to feel like you're pulling those hands back and widen out, or that's the stretch. Pull back and then come back in, take right, pull back. And I'm really trying to show those palms off. And then one more for me. Breathe in and then breathe out. Keep breathing, but you are looking straight ahead. Ideally, you try not to arch your back. That's a little easier said than done. Good work. And then come back out of there. We're going to do a roll down. Now, with the roll down, take care. If you don't want to do a roll down, you could simply take one leg straight. You could sit on a chair and feel the stretch through the back of your leg here. Otherwise, stand with your feet hip width apart for me. And then we're going to nod, bring the chin down to the chest, make it feel heavy. Draw your ribs under as the shoulders roll forward, and very slowly visualize your vertebra reaching forward away from the body. And as you get depth, let your head hang freely. Yeah. Hang freely. Take it to hand. And if you have some flexibility about you, you might end up taking your hands behind the ankles or the calves. Just breathe it out. I'm going to add a little variation. Take care with the lower back on this one. Bend your knees a little more, and then try to bring yourself more towards the thighs. Roll down more. Okay. Bend your knees a little more if you're not sure. Okay. And then from here, straighten those legs back up. Take a moment. Now just look at your hands. Sometimes one hand can be longer than the other because there's a little bit of imbalance through the back or the hips or the glutes. Try to balance that out. Do you notice any variance? Yeah. And then from here, bend your knees again. And with your hands, walk them forward. And to that point where the heels just want to lift off the ground. And when they do, try to press back and your hips lift up to the ceiling. And we're going to walk the dog, so to speak. We're going to bend one knee, press the other heel into the floor, and vice versa. And go at a pace that works for you. Keep the elevation of the hips. Feel your shoulders flatten, so the back of your shoulders flatten. Keep going. Now, for those that might have some flexibility, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to get you to take your right leg up to the ceiling. So can you take it off the mat and lift it up? Okay, lift it right up. Press your hands into the floor. Okay. Now, from here, we're going to take that right foot behind us to find the floor, and we're going to open up and reach up to the ceiling. This is not for everyone. So if you want to keep walking the dog, walk the dog. Okay. And now bring yourself back in and then swap legs over. Continue to walk the dog if you don't want to do this version. Now take the other leg up straight, reach, push your hands into the floor. And then from here, take the leg behind, find the floor, take the other arm up and just open up through the front of the hips. Look at the hand behind. Breathe it out and rotate back to the mat. Bring your foot back in line with the other foot. And everyone now walk your hands in. Check in where those hands are. Are they deeper? And scoop in the tummy and roll. Woo. Back up. Well done if you did some of those variations. It's a bit of fun for you as well. Okay, from here, take your arms up to a Y, a wideish stance, and we come back to the dowager's hump, or they call it, I think, widow's hump as well. Press your arms back and look up, but press those arms back, and we're going to hold there for about 15 seconds for me. Keep holding and breathing and pushing back. Good. And slowly release out of that. Just shoulder shrug it a little bit. Loosen up those shoulders. Okay. Bring your feet in a little closer and take your elbows bent like a V, or we do call it W. And the same concept. Press your hands back and look up and hold 15 seconds here. Almost feel like you're pushing your breastbone a little forward out of the chest, opening through the cartilage. And slowly release. And we've got one more. If you can, you do it now. Your arms are now at a right angle as opposed to being up here. They are now down. I bring my feet closer. And last one here, we press back and look up. And basically, we've worked through sections of the upper back leading into the neck, into your trapezius area. Keep holding. Few more seconds. And then we're going to stretch the back of the arms. Slowly come out of that. A little bit of energy, that one. Okay. Take your arm to bend behind. With the other hand, you simply pull that elbow across to the opposite side. You could add a side stretch to that and get 2 for 1. Okay. So hopefully you're all able to do that. If you can't do that, keep holding that one side, everyone. Feel free to take your shoulder across and do a shoulder stretch instead. Okay. But the shoulder stretch is simply just pulling that straight arm behind. Otherwise, keep the triceps, just a few more seconds here, and feel like you're reaching the hand between your shoulder blades as you take it across. Okay. And let's change the hands over. And just take care. Stretching is always a gentle persuasion. Should never be really hard that you feel something's going to snap. I'm going to add a little side stretch to this. Breathe it out. Wonderful. And then we're going to get into our hip flexors. We all need it. So let's come out of that. 2 options. You can stay standing. It's like the calf stretch. You can bring one leg forward and squeeze the glute on the back leg, squaring off your hips front and center. But for a more intense stretch, you might want to bring that to the floor. Do the same thing there for me, yeah? And square off those hips. Squeeze that back glute. Be more upright than not, okay? And you can bring, I've got my right leg back here, the right arm up, and take it across to the left, or maybe it's the other way for you. Just hold that stretch. And if you still want to get a little bit more intensity, you can do a similar move where we bring our hands to the floor, lift the back knee, push the heel back, sink the hips down for me. And then what you're going to do is not use the same arm as the leg behind. You can take the other arm up and reach behind as well. So hopefully there's something there that suits everyone. Feel the opening of the hips. Breathe it out. And now let's change sides. All right. Do the other side. All right. Remember, squeeze that back glute. Okay, hold that position. My left leg is now behind, so the left arm is coming up, and I'm going to take it across. You stay upright. Breathe it out. Or intensify the stretch more by bringing your hands down to the mat, lifting that back leg, squaring off the hips, and then coming down. And I can feel a stretch through the front there. But I'm going to now take the opposite arm to reach up and look at my hand as I take it across. And I'll find a couple extra things there when I do that. Wonderful. All right. Adjust your cameras. Come down to the floor and sit upright. Now, if you have a problem sitting upright and you've got a cushion handy, you can put the cushion under your bottom and that will help you feel a little bit more supported. Okay, so take your left leg out straight and bring your right leg over. Okay, if you can, pull the heel, the foot back towards you. And then with the opposite arm, All right, can you just take it out? Because some people get this really confused. Right leg here, the left arm, I'm going to pull the knee up to the left side. So I'm going to pull it upwards. Now, if you can't actually get in that position, what you could do instead is just keep the leg down and just give it a gentle pull and twist away. Okay, so just find what works for you. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to lift that knee up, turn away. And as you're holding that knee, feel like you're trying to push your bottom back down to the ground, even though it's not moving. I want to feel like I'm pushing the bony bit of my bottom on this side back down. All right, let's change sides. Unravel, right leg out straight. Left leg is up, but it's the right arm that's going to pull that leg up to the right shoulder. Turn and twist away. Just breathe it out. And this is called piriformis stretch. So for those that suffer sciatica, this typically will target that area for you and get where that nerve runs through. Breathe it out. And then slowly unravel. Now go back to the first position. Bring the other foot across. Now, if your range was restricted and that's the best that you can do is to do that, you're going to do that. But I'm going to take it up another level. This leg's going to stay crossed over, but I'm going to pull that front leg behind. And I'm going to repeat that just so that you see. Okay, the straight leg is now tucking itself back. So try to square yourself off and get a little bit of evenness through the hips, but don't worry if you can't. And then from here, bring your hands forward. So typically this will get deeper into your piriformis as well. Now I've got my right leg over and I'm actually going to take my body a little bit more to the right here with my arms and lean into it, lean forward and breathe it out. Can you get a little deeper? And I feel like I'm sticking my tailbone out behind me to increase the pull as my body goes forward. All right, let's change it over. Unravel. First leg across. You can repeat the version we did earlier. Otherwise, tuck the foot back. Sometimes you can do one side and not the other too. So I always encourage you trying it. Bring yourself to come down centered first, get a feel. And I've got my left leg overlapping the top here. So I'm going to go a little bit more here to the left with my upper body and lean forward and breathe it out. Now, when you stretch your glutes, your lower back will thank you for it. But the next stretch that we're going to do is also one that affects your lower back, and that's the thread the needle. Okay. So we're slowly going to come out of this one, and I'd like for you to come into a 4-point kneeling position. First option, though, if you can't go 4-point kneeling, is maybe you can do this on your hands and knees. And we can all start with this, but then I will progress. And that is to simply take one arm to salute and then bring that elbow to reach behind and rotate. And then come back down and then repeat. For those that can go 4-point kneeling, it's exactly the same. Give me the salute, but you're going to push your other hand into the mat to elevate and rotate and push the elbow behind. If you have the range, straighten the arm out, take it back a little bit more, but just watch me for a moment now as we bring the hand through and find the floor with the back of our hand and lean into the back of that shoulder. A lot of people like this stretch. All right, change sides, do the other side. So we salute. I'm using my hand on the floor to push and twist with my upper body. Now you should be able to get 180 degrees, they say, with the elbow. And then bring the arm up, look at it. Take a moment, and then let's thread that needle Put the back of the hand into the floor and lean into the shoulder. Just take care, breathe it out. And then come out of that. Let's lie down on our mat. Okay. All right, find the floor. I'll give you a moment to adjust. Oh, this is a real treat, just being able to sit here for half an hour and stretch. Okay. Take your arms out to a T. Take your feet as wide as the mat and anchor the left shoulder to the floor and take your knees to the right. As you take your knees to the right, keep that left shoulder on the floor. Can you press the left knee down towards the floor? Take a moment. Let's recenter. Keep the right shoulder blade to the floor as you take the knees to the left and turn the knees in as much as you can towards the floor. I can't quite get my right knee on the floor. Some of you might be like me. And then come back in. You can continue with that, or what you could do is now bring your feet back in parallel, cross your right leg over the left, and use that foot to now pull the knee over, to anchor the shoulders down. Breathe it out. Good. And then change sides, bring it in, swap the leg over. And then pull that leg down with the foot. And can I find the floor with this side? I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to try a little, but I'm not going to push hard. Good. Now, if you felt the stretch was strong enough on that, you can continue to do that. Well, now we make it just a little bit more stronger. I'm going to have you now lie on your side, and we're going to actually bring the outer leg to come over onto the floor, bent. So I hope you can see that. All right, so it's bent. With my lower hand, I'm going to hold that knee down. Okay. And then from here, take the arm up to the ceiling, the other arm. Let your head fall to the ground and take your arm behind on a diagonal, looking at your hand. Breathe. Now, for some people, a cushion might be required for the head on this. Okay, just take a moment here. The knee should be on the floor. Okay, good. Now slowly bring yourself back in, but now come onto your tummy. We're not going to swap sides yet. And we're going to get into maybe the top, the middle, the lower back. It depends on your range. Bend your elbows out to the side. Your hands are on the floor. And I want you just to look a little ahead at the top of your mat. I feel like you slide your shoulder blades down to the hips. Now, maybe that's enough for you, but can you now push your elbows and your hands gently into the mat and elevate a little bit more through the chest? And if you feel you're able to, you can come up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, but keep those shoulders away from the ears. If you feel discomfort through your back, you do not push through it. You come down back lower. Take a moment. And then you're going to turn and change sides, where we now bend the outer leg over. We hold that leg down with the underneath arm, and the other arm now comes up and over, and apply the breath. Deep breathing. The more your eyes look to the hand, the better. Good. And then simply roll yourself back onto your back. And provided you do not have a disc bulge, I want you to hug your knees, so a disc bulge in the lower back. You can hold your knees like this gently with a disc bulge, but I want to intensify and I want to pull the knees towards my chest and then come out of it and go again. So just do a couple of these. And last one here. And then just circle around, massage your sacrum underneath. You could go gentle with the disc bulge, you just don't make the move big. Reverse direction. And then we'll find ourselves to come and sit up now and finish off with our neck. Bring yourself up. Okay. I'm going to have my back to you so you can see what's happening with the arms. You can do this standing. And what I'd like for you to do is take your right arm behind, drop the right shoulder, and then grab the wrist with the left hand. Once you're in that position, left ear to the left shoulder, start easy, and then pull the arm across to the left at the same time, and you should intensify, or should feel a little bit more intense, should I say, as a stretch. If you don't like holding your arm, just simply take the hand, the right hand, sit on it, and just take the left ear to the left shoulder and breathe through it, relaxing the right shoulder. You could, if you're sitting on your hand, use the other hand to give it a little extra pull. I'll just stay here for a few more seconds here. And be very slow to come out of your version, and I'll repeat them again. So the left arm is now behind, and I'm grabbing that with my right hand. Right ear to the right shoulder first. Intensify by pulling the left arm to the right. Gosh, that's a lot to think about. Breathe. Or if you prefer, sit on the palm of the left hand and use your right hand to pull it across gently. Find what works for you. Keep holding that as I turn around. Good. And then we'll slowly ease out of that. And your last one is to put two hands onto your shoulder blade to the right. And you're going to look up to the ceiling with your chin and your eyes to the left. Look up. And as you do, sorry, I should say, push back down into the collarbone area. Reach the chin out. You can pull the chin out from the jawline and stretch it out longer than the top jaw, like so. And stretch through the front of your neck there. And while you're holding that stretch, look up to the top of the ceiling, look to the other side. Do that one more time, back and forth. And then slowly ease out of that. Change sides. Last one. All right. Looking up to the right now as I push my fingers back into the left clavicle. Stick the jaw out if you choose. And then turn side to side, looking up. You don't realize it, but our heads are so often down. The front of our necks do get shorter and tighter. Thank you so much for making it at short notice, everyone. I hope you're feeling as good as what I do. That was a real treat. For those I haven't seen for a while, it was really lovely to have you. Those I know who are away and on holiday, even better. Well done. Happy New Year to you all, and thank you so much for joining me today. Love you all.